Before I start, a lot of people have been asking if I'm doing any Black Friday stuff, and I am going to do a big Black Friday sale, and I'll tell you more about it at the end of the video. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. If you've ever listened to Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, or Chappell Roan, or Billie Eilish, and you've thought to yourself, I want to make music like that. Maybe you're a singer and you want to produce your own music, or maybe you know a singer and you want to produce music for them. Well, you are in the right place, my friend. I'm here to show you exactly how a professional producer, myself, would go about making a pop song in the style of Sabrina Carpenter. Her songs have been so addicting lately, and I just want to break it down for you guys in a really simple way. I've been there and done that. I've toured the world, been making music professionally for the past like 15 years or something like that, and I'm going to do my best to condense all of that knowledge into the next few minutes in this video so that you can take what I know and apply it for yourself and you can make music too. I think it's probably a lot easier than you think it is, and I would love for you to give me the chance to try and prove that to you. So let's go ahead and we're going to open up Ableton. That's my digital audio workstation of choice. A DAW is just the program that you choose to make music in. You can use Ableton, you can use Logic, you can use Fruity Loops, you can use Pro Tools, Cubase, Bitwig. Bitwig? Is Bitwig one? Anyway, there's a bunch of them. You can also use GarageBand, which is free, but Ableton's my favorite, so let's go ahead and open up Ableton. So pretty much 99% of music is made up of just 5 elements. And these are what I have deemed the 5-element formula. Let me make it super simple for you. If you listen to a Sabrina Carpenter song, or Olivia Rodrigo, or Billie Eilish, all those songs are gonna have drums, they're gonna have bass, they're gonna have mids, meaning like piano or strings or synths, they're gonna have vocals, obviously, and then they're gonna have effects, meaning different like sweeps and risers and reverb and all that kind of stuff. And as long as we break down a song into those 5 elements, it's actually so simple to bring it to life in Ableton or whatever DAW you're using. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to create some pop style drums. I'm going to find a tempo here by clicking on the metronome, and I can adjust the BPM here to the left in Ableton, and I'm just going to hit spacebar to press play. Nice. So what I want to do is I want to make some drums similar to Taste by Sabrina Carpenter. We have a couple different ways we could do this. I think we can keep it super simple and just drag and drop samples into Ableton. Now, when it comes to finding samples, you can easily just Google the kind of samples you're looking for and then just type in free. So like free pop drum sample pack or something like that. There's tons of free stuff online. I personally love using Splice. Splice, if you're watching this, please respond to my emails. I would love for you to sponsor a video. But first thing we want to find is some kind of kick. So I have been using this dead drum sample pack. It's circle drum samples, and I'm just going to search for kick and see what I can find. Oof, that one sounds great. Let's try this one. Great, so that's our kick. Pretty good. Now let's find a snare. And once we get a snare in there, it's going to be really easy to make a drum pattern. I'm just going to search for snare. Oof, this one is great. Let's go ahead and drag that in. And then let's find one more snare to just layer with it. Oof, that one is money. I think these two mixed together are gonna sound a lot like Taste. Oh, mwah, chef's kiss. I'm gonna go ahead and shorten this one down. And then this sound as well. We can also shorten that down if we want to. And then let's go ahead and start making a drum pattern. I'm just shortening these samples so it's easier to see and it's more organized. And I'm gonna press Command S, and I'm going to save the project. And we'll just call it Pop Song for YouTube, and I'm going to hit save. And I have saved this project, this Ableton project, into a specific folder on my hard drive called Sessions. That way I stay organized. And just hit File, Collect All, and Save. Make sure these are all yellow and just press OK. And that way it's going to save all these samples into that folder. So if I ever want to move this project onto another computer, or I want to send it to someone, it's going to have all the samples in that project folder, which is great. Alrighty, let's go ahead and program a pattern here. I'm just going to click on the kick, press Command C to copy it, click where I want it to go, and press Command V. It's literally just copy and paste for drums. And I'm going to highlight this whole section right here and press Command D to duplicate it. And this is our drum pattern. Now, I'm going to start mixing stuff as we go. A couple things I want to tweak with this kick. I want there to be a little more low end, so I can use an EQ just to bring up that low end. And then I also want to compress it a little bit. I'm going to use a preset that I made called Kick. It's supposed to be CPP for Complete Producer Pro. But either way, gets your kicks to kind of snap a little bit. Also, you can super easily just pause the video and copy my settings if they're hard to see. You know what? I'll actually make it even easier for you, and we will bring this up to 180. Zoom it in a little bit more so you can see it. Now, I think the kick sounds good. The snares are a little bit loud, so I'm just going to turn them down each about 3 dB using the arrow keys, just clicking in these fade areas right here. Another thing I want to do is maybe shorten this artillery sound, this one right here. And I want to put my own reverb on it. So I'm just going to go into Audio Effects in Ableton, drag reverb onto this. And you know what, let's go ahead and use a room. I want to use Big Room. I'm going to drag this onto the reverb, so now it's the Big Room preset. You can also click this hot swap button and just swap out a bunch of different reverbs. Try them out. Oh, that's actually kind of sick. All right, I'm going to play with the dry wet here. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to group these snares together. I'm going to do that by clicking on one, holding Shift and clicking on the other, and pressing Command G. And now on this group right here, I can press Command R and name it snares. And that way, so I'm just going to duplicate out these shortened samples right here. Now we can process both of these snares together if we want to. So we could go to compressor, we could put a compressor on both of these. Now those are sounding absolutely massive. Might even have to turn them down a little bit. Oh, these drums are sounding awesome so far. Now we get to hi-hats. Now we can use samples for hi-hats. Sorry, I just drank some cold brew before this video because I wanted to get like super hyped up. And it's working! I'm very hyped up. For hi-hats, you can easily drag in samples. We could even go and look for a hi-hat loop. See what we find here. Like this Oliver loop, for example. You just double click on it, click warp, and then we want to tell Ableton what BPM the sample is. You can see it right here, it's 169. So right here where it says BPM, you can just click on it and type in 169, press enter. Now it should be lined up. Here we go. So that doesn't sound bad at all, but I like to use a little bit more sort of control and finesse by doing MIDI hi-hats. And what MIDI is it stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. The way I think about it is it's basically a piano inside your computer. And so to make a new MIDI track, you press Command-Shift-T, in Ableton at least, and you can highlight your section that you want your MIDI clip to be on and press Command-Shift-M, and then you'll make a new MIDI clip. And if you look here, now we have a piano roll. From double clicking on this clip, the piano roll will show up down here, and we can draw in different notes by double clicking, just like that. And what I want to do is I want to use a plugin for my hi-hats. So if you're following along, feel free to just drag in samples if you want to. I just like doing it this way because there are some drums in Battery that I absolutely love. Pretty sure you can just Google bedroom drums. So I believe the drums I'm using are made by Lute Audio, and I'm pretty sure this is the pack right here, and they have amazing drums. So I've been using this on a ton of stuff lately, and a lot of really good hi-hat sounds in here. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and program a hi-hat pattern. Notice how I can click right here to the left of the piano roll and drag left and right to zoom in. And I can just highlight this and press Command D to duplicate it out. And we'll have this one open up right here. Nice. Starting to sound pretty darn good if I do say so myself. And all I've been doing is just dragging in samples and then tweaking the samples a little bit, like adding some low into the kick, putting a compressor on. This is all Ableton stuff, of course, except for Splice. You can find free samples online. Now for these hi-hats, I'm going to just EQ them a little bit, get rid of some of this low end that we don't need. Maybe boost the highs just a little. Nice, I love that. Cool. Okay, so we got our drum pattern here. Let's go ahead and add some mid-range elements. I think guitar would be great for this. I have a guitar, I can play the guitar, so I'm gonna record guitar into this. But if you don't, you can easily just add some piano and you can program it in. If you're like, Ethan, I don't know music theory. Well, I got you. I have a video that teaches everything you need to know about music theory in order to produce a song just like this. And it's right up here. If you wanna learn theory, you can go ahead and click on that video, watch that, and then come back to this. Let me find a 1/4 inch, you know. Oh. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loop these drums here. And I'm going to press record, and I'm going to just try and vibe out some guitar parts and see what I come up with. Okay. Nice. Okay, so what I did was I recorded the same part twice, and I panned one to the left and one to the right. This one's to the right. This one's to the left. And what I'm going to do is click on both of these and do exactly what we did with the snare and just group them together. Now I can listen to both. We can even label this guitars if we want. We can even put a little bit of overdrive on them if we want. Let's see, what do we got? Overdrive. can even compress them a bit. Let's try acoustic. Nice. And now we can start playing with effects a little bit. I want to add some reverb to these. So in Ableton, to do that, you just click on this send right here, and this is going to send the guitar all the way down here to this reverb. Now, when you open an Ableton session, it comes with this reverb already loaded. So you literally just turn this up in this send area right here, and it'll add reverb. But I think for the verses, we can use this guitar without the reverb, and then in the choruses, I want the reverb to turn on. So how do we do that? How do we add reverb in one part but not another part? To do that, we need to automate it. And all automation does is it just changes something over time in Ableton. So we click on this bent line up here to the right. We click on whatever parameter we want to change, which is this send right here. We want this to turn up during the choruses and down during the verses. And as I turn it up and down, you can see that there's this line on the guitars group, and I can click and add dots to this line and adjust those dots. So what I want to do is just have reverb on this chorus. So before it, none. Then there's a lot of reverb. Also going to turn down this drive a little bit. Another thing I'm going to do is, since this is looping, I'm going to turn automation view off. Just going to do a little fade at the beginning so there's no weird clicking or popping noises, and a little fade at the end as well. Just going to copy these out by clicking both of them and pressing Command D. There we go. And we can start this song off with a little hi-hat as well. I'm just getting the pattern the way I want it to be. I can highlight all these and play with the velocity, making it more subtle. There we go. Nice, and then it's building, or it will build into the chorus. Okay, so this is our chorus right here. If it's not clear yet, this is where the song is going to be big and the main vocal comes in and all that stuff. And I want to add a bass. So we have a couple options here. We could easily just program a bass on a MIDI track. So we press Command-Shift-T to make a new MIDI track. We highlight the chorus section here, press Command-Shift-M. We double click on the clip, and right here we can program our bass part. Now we need to put an instrument on this MIDI track, so Ableton tells that instrument what parts to play. So we can go to Instrument Rack here, we can go to Bass. We can try like basic wash bass and just draw in the pattern. So this would be our bass part. I'll solo it for you. Which is cool, but what I want to do is I want to play the bass, because I don't know, bass is just fun to play, and I think it sounds awesome. And if you can play an instrument, why not include some human feel to your song? It goes a long way in pop music sometimes. I'm gonna grab my awesome bass. I freaking love this bass so much. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the guitar, just loop the chorus and play some cool parts to it. Okay, so here's our bass part. And it goes with the guitar part if you play them together. I'm going to throw a little EQ on it. Now, there's some people who say, you don't want to boost EQ more than 3 dB, or so I've heard. There are no rules. I would just process things until they sound the way that you want them to. If we want to, we can put a little compressor on it. What is this? Let's see. Yeah, we'll just try generic compressor. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and record another guitar part for the chorus just to kind of open it up a little bit. And then we're gonna add some synths to really fill out the chorus. And then we should be dialed after that. Same thing we've been doing. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing we did before. If it looks like I'm playing out of time, it's because of the screen recording software. I have pretty good timing. Wouldn't want you to get the wrong idea. So I have these guitar parts here. I've also panned them left and right. I'm gonna throw some chorus on them and also the same processing from our other guitars just to kind of spice them up. Let's also put them in a guitar room. So I'm gonna drag a guitar room directly onto this and just play with the dry wet. Awesome, so now that's starting to feel like a chorus. We can also take out the other guitars, so it's just these ones. And let's go ahead and put some sort of synth in this as well. So I'm gonna press Command-Shift-T. It's gonna make a new MIDI track. Also make sure to unplug our guitar, because if your guitar or your bass is active and you leave it plugged in, you're gonna drain the battery. I learned that one the hard way. Let's go to Instruments, Instrument Rack, and let's look for maybe synth keys. I'm gonna try this analog emulation keys. Then I'm just gonna draw in a pattern. First I wanna make the MIDI clip, so I'm gonna highlight this section, press Command-Shift-M, double click on this clip, and let's see what we can do. I'm gonna go ahead and just program it. Okay, so now we got some chords going here. Okay, so these are the chords I have. Which I love the sound, it's just kind of taking up too much in the song. It's kind of becoming the star of the show, and we still need to do vocals. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a MIDI effect on it and try an arpeggiator. I'm gonna adjust the rate here. I'm gonna shorten all these, see how it goes. It was worth a try. It doesn't sound that great. Let's try it without the arpeggiator. Nice, that kind of breaks it up a little bit. Let's try that pattern. Let's listen to the guitars with it. Nice, let's try these an octave higher. To do that, we can just click anywhere, press Command-A to select all the notes, hold Shift and press the up arrow. Okay, these notes are a bit too high, so I'm just gonna highlight kind of the top half of these chords, hold Shift and press the down arrow. Now we have these kind of lower chords. Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the reverb on the snare a little bit, the decay time. I don't really love this sound, so I'm gonna look for some other options. Okay, I kind of like this Canadian keys sound. Now I want to add this contact keys sound as well, but I just wanted to play one note in the beginning, the whole chorus to kind of like open it up. So I'm just gonna have it play a D note since our song is in the key of D. Now what I want to do is I kind of want to distort this, so let's do overdrive, and then I want to EQ it, so let's do EQ, and I want to scoop out the highs, and I want to scoop out the lows. That's a sick noise. So, first one will be there, second one will be there. Awesome. This is actually really starting to come together. We have like our intro with a hi-hat and the guitars, you know. We'll write a verse over this, and then it builds into this. I'm actually kind of liking it with these first guitars in here as well, so let's keep those going. Okay, so we've got drums, bass, mids, and kind of a little bit of effects. You know, actually, let's just add one effect really quickly. Let's just add a sweep going into this chorus right here. I'm gonna go into my Complete Producer Pro sample pack and drag in my Astro sweep. I have a course called Complete Producer Pro, teaches you how to make music from beginning to end. It's like this, but it's way deeper, way more extensive, that kind of stuff. But this is a sample pack that comes with the course. All right, let's go ahead and turn this whole song down just a little bit. I'm gonna click on the first track, scroll down to the last, hold shift and click, select them all, and we'll just turn it down a couple dB. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and I'm gonna write a song over this, just to show you an example of what it would be like with some vocals on it. Plus, I think it'd just be fun to write over. And then I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna show you the vocals, and I'll try and structure it out a little bit, and we can get to the finished product, which is gonna be really exciting. And I think you're gonna love it, so stay tuned. Also, real quick, if you're enjoying this video at all, you feel like you're learning something, I would love for you to consider subscribing and giving me the chance to help you make the best music that you're capable of. That's my goal, it's free for you, so yeah, subscribe. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, guys, so I took some time. I wrote a song to this. I whipped up some vocals. I layered them up, and I got a pretty decent chorus going. I also added in some harmonies and some backup vocals. Did a little mixing stuff. So without further ado, I present to you my pop song in the style of Sabrina Carpenter, and then I'll talk through the vocals and some of the stuff as soon as I'm done playing it. Also, I'll put the lyrics on the screen so you can follow along if you want to, see what I'm writing about. And I also changed the key of it 1.5 steps down so that I could sing it easier. And I'm titling the song 7 Minutes in Heaven. So without further ado, here's 7 Minutes in Heaven in the style of Sabrina Carpenter.
What's new with you? I'm wondering where your head is at. 'Cause the truth is I could give you a reason to come back. And now I think I'm falling. 15 minutes got me all in. 7 more would send me straight to heaven. Loving every second, if I'm honest, I'm falling.
I think it sounds pretty good. I mean, it sounds big when the chorus comes in, all that stuff. And all I did for vocals was I have a whole video on processing vocals. So if you want to check that out, it'll be right up here and you can click on that and check it out, process your own vocals. But for me, I have my lead vocal.
Falling, 15 minutes got me all in.
And then I doubled it with this sort of like reverby vocal, this one right here. So together. And then all these are essentially doubles. I just sang the same thing and panned them left and right. I sang 4 of those.
15 minutes got me all in.
So they really make it feel a lot bigger, the chorus.
Straight to heaven, loving every second.
And then I recorded these harmonies as well.
Straight to heaven, loving every second. If I'm honest, I'm falling.
So if you want to record vocals like this, you can check out the vocal video. The harmonies by themselves sound kind of silly.
Straight to heaven, loving every second.
Super sloppy, right? But in context,
straight to heaven, loving every second.
They sound pretty sick. Other than that, I didn't really add too much other stuff. I just added this crash. And with the drums, it sounds like. And then. And of course the guitars. And the bass. It sounds pretty massive, and honestly, it's just due to sample selection and compression, pretty much. That's pretty much it. Some EQ, and now I think I'm falling.
And now I think I'm falling. 15 minutes got me all in. 7 more would send me straight to heaven. Loving every second if I'm honest. I'm falling.
Alright, I'm pretty stoked with how it came out. And if you want to be able to make music like this, you can watch the video again and actually follow along. Or if you want me to walk you through everything step by step, I have a paid course and you can check out part of that for free in the description of the video. Just go ahead and click on the first link and I'll send you a free training that's going to blow your mind and really help you out a lot. All that to say, thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I genuinely appreciate and value your attention. It means a lot to me. And more than anything, remember to stop making excuses and start making music. Cheers. Real quick, I just want to let you guys know, I'm going to do a pretty big Black Friday sale on both of my courses, Complete Producer Pro and EDM Producer Pro. So whether you want to make any style of music and just become a super well-rounded producer, or you want to make dance music, I want to give you guys access to those programs for way less than they normally cost. So go ahead and go to the link in the description to get my Black Friday discount. Just wanted to let you know so you don't miss out.